Right, this is a walk around video, and this is for a Honda Civic 2.2 ES diesel. This is a 2009 car with just 44,000 miles on the clock. You can see here finished in Nighthawk black, which is probably the most sought after colour of all of these Civics. But it's a lovely car. The lights and lenses you can see there completely clear and intact. The front of the car is very clean indeed. The lightest amount of stone chip. Far better than most you see on this age and mileage of car. Come down the near side of the car first, and it's pretty much mirror smooth on the panels there. It's lovely and clean. Near side front alloy, really good. Just one tiny little chip on the outside edge there. Nothing to write home about. Panels on this side's absolutely fantastic. Back to the car, again all very clean. There's only the odd very light marks, even merits a mention, but it really is absolutely clean, this one. And then offside the vehicle, as with the near side, you can see there, it's wonderfully clean on the panels. As I said, there is the odd, the minuscule little mark you're bound to get on any car this age, but they're very few and far between, because that's a really lovely car in lovely condition. Coming into the boot area, absolutely enormous boot, and it's in lovely condition back here again. 60/40 fold on the rear seats, and you've got the little cubby hole underneath the cover there. Coming to the back of the car, rear door card, again absolutely stunning condition. Tons of rear leg room. Back here's in just wonderful condition. Front passenger door card, as with all the others, been kept beautifully. Footwell area on the passenger side again in lovely condition. And passenger seat in the front here, again just very clean and tidy. Driver's door card, matching all the others, it's lovely again. All the little recesses been kept really nicely. Footwell area again, really clean and tidy. And driver's seat, exactly as it should be. So sat inside the car now, engine's running through this section so you can see the dashboard illuminated. The dash, to all intents and purposes, looks pretty much as new. It's in absolutely beautiful condition in here. All working exactly as it should as well. If I just come up into the dashboard binnacle there, hopefully you can see 44,955 miles. And pan back there, you can see there's no warning lights on the dashboard at all, and that is pretty much the view you get as a driver of the dashboard, and it is a wonderful dashboard. It really is. Just to quickly show you, owner's manual pack, very importantly, lock and wheel nut keys are here and present with the car. So finally, just to come to this wonderfully presented engine bay by Honda. This car's just been serviced by ourselves. If you don't already know, I'm sure you do, these are cam chain driven engines. There's no cam belt, so no belt service required throughout the car's life. And they don't run DPF filters either, which is really good news. More of which in the following road test video. Right then, this is a road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 2.2 ES diesel. This particular car is registered YD09WCN, and mileage is 44,946 miles. Reason for doing the road test is simply so people who are looking at the car and the advert on the internet actually get to see the very car in operation. That way, if there's any issues on the car, we can and we will relay them back to you, is the very point of doing the videos. We're very well aware that a lot of our customers come from not just the UK but Europe as well, so hence we feel it's right to do this. It's also done on these lovely quiet roads in Gloucestershire. We're literally just a couple of miles off the motorway as well, just off the M5, so it's really easy to get to, but it does make for a very relaxing test drive on the day. So coming to the car itself, with such low mileage, you'd anticipate it to drive well, and it doesn't disappoint at all. Engine's just been serviced, and the car drives superbly. Engine starts instantly, of course, as they always do. It settles to completely even idle, and it's so smooth through the rev range. It really feels, what it is, a very low mileage engine, because its power delivery, everything about it is just so refined. There's no warning lights on the dashboard at all related to the engine or any other part of the car. And temperature gauge, and the car's been running for quite some time now, is running at a third on the temperature gauge, which is exactly where it should be on a Honda car, whether it be petrol, diesel or otherwise. The units themselves, they're so un-diesel-like in the sound and operation, compared to the vast majority of cars of this age and vintage. It's in a different league. It really is. Engine then feeds through clutch and into gearbox. Clutch on the vehicle, smooth, positive in operation. Bike point is exactly where it should be on the pedal travel as well. It's all in very fine order there. Clutch then feeds through into the 6-speed gearbox, which I've often gone on about on these videos because I think it's a fabulous gearbox. Honda are one of the few companies, they're a proper engineering company, where things just won't do if they want to have a feeling of enjoyment when changing gear, a mechanical feel, even though the gear lever is attached to the gearbox by cables, and that means some cars, and it's certainly in this class, can have perfectly okay gear changes, but they can be lifeless, devoid of any interaction between you and the gearbox itself. Whereas this is just a wonderful, wonderful gear linkage. It's so smooth, so slick, really short in throw. I'm just doing it for fun, but it just, the springing is perfect. It falls into the gears absolutely perfectly, and I can't detect any wear in it at all. It feels absolutely spot on. So in terms of powertrain of the vehicle, all in very fine order. Steering of the car, which is a real strong point on the Civics. It's a really dynamic car to drive. Steering's really quick. It's kind of got a go-kart feel about it, but literally just turn into the corners with hardly any turn on the wheel, and the car responds beautifully. It tracks absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations at all coming back to the steering wheel, and it just feels really tight and crisp in hand. It really does. It's a lovely, lovely setup, and it's perfectly matched the chassis of the car, because the chassis of the car, as soon as you turn the wheel, it turns with it. It's responsive, corners incredibly flat. On roads like this, it rides beautifully well as well, very well damped. Only the sharpest ridges, potholes will catch them out, as they tend to do any car in all honesty. But I think Honda have come up with a wonderful compromise. What I'm looking for on test drive as well is any kind of metallic sort of clonks coming from underneath the vehicle, but there's nothing at all. It feels absolutely perfect. You'll hear it hitting the bumps, but nothing else. Brakes on the car, I'm going to give them a bit of a shove when it comes to this junction here. Really good brake pedal on the car, and again, what I'm looking for is, especially on the first part of the brake pedal application at speed, is any kinds of pulsing or vibrations coming through the brake pedal, but there's nothing at all on the car. They're really solid, and when we did the pre-delivery inspection, the pads and discs all around are in really, really good condition on the car. So it looks like they haven't been they've been changed fairly recently. So check cruise control function, that works absolutely perfectly. Looking around inside the car, it's in fantastic condition in here, as the previous video says. Really beautifully made as well. There's no creaks, buzzers, anything at all inside the car. But I love this dashboard. I've always said it, and I've openly admit that it's not for everybody. It's a proper Marmite dashboard, in the sense that some people love this design, and I'm one of those, and others absolutely hate it.
But I think personally that's a sign of a really good design that kind of polarizes opinion. I think that's not a bad thing at all. What I love about the dash is it's fantastic to look at, but it also works brilliantly. You've got this two-level or two-tier dashboard, which means when I'm looking at the car in front, I can, out of the corner of my eye, without moving my head down at all, see the speed I'm travelling at. And I think it's absolute genius. I think it's just such a clever design that really helps with the safety of the vehicle and pedestrian safety, obviously. And it all works brilliantly well. We've also got a high-up display there for radio and your ventilation system as well. And then down below the speedo, we've got this centre stack. This little pod with this kind of floating dials, and it looks fantastic. Big dominating rev counter, flanked by the temperature gauge and fuel gauges as well. Everything's working exactly as it should. And to sound really nerdy for a second, at night the dashboard looks sensational when it's illuminated. It's got this lovely glow about it. And for those that like that kind of, I mean, the reality is that the vast majority of cars in this class, they're all, perfectly good cars, but it just gets a bit dull when you get inside. You've got your binnacle here, your centre stack there, and you just got variations on exactly the same theme going over and over and over and over again. And for some people, that's perfectly good. I just think this is just so much more interesting, and it makes driving the car actually quite enjoyable. As I said at the start of the video, the point of it is to be critical of the car, so if there's anything that's not quite right about it, I will let you know. And there's nothing at all on the car. It drives exactly as you'd expect such a low mileage diesel to drive, absolutely beautifully. And whoever's lucky enough to get this will be taking on a really fabulous car. Having said that, if I've missed something on the video, don't hesitate, do give us a call and I'll happily answer any questions you might have.